Hey guys, it's Kat. You ready to learn? Let's get into it. I've been gone for a little bit. I've been going through a lot, but a thug is back and have no fear. So today we're talking about times in history in which stupid petty decisions just ruined everything. And it's really interesting because singular decisions in history really do just spiral out of control, you know? Like, for example, take the Black Hand, right? An extremist group out there in the 1900s that was actually behind the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. They thought that by killing that man, that would end the, occupation they had going on over there. And so they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna kill him, everything's gonna be good, nothing's gonna happen, no bad consequences at all. So they took that shot when he rounded that corner thinking everything was all fun and dandy. World War I. Somehow Belgium's here. Like, what Jefferson say in Hamilton? Every action has its equal opposite reaction. Like, come on, bro. Starting off strong with one of my favorite stories in the world ever, the Trojan War. This war has not been proven to be true. Now, the area in which it takes place in, which is modern-day Turkey, they do excavations out there and they may have seen an area in which a battle may have taken place, and they say, hey, this could be the war. We don't know for real, mainly because it's mythological.
Like as fuck?
Basically, the entire war, all those people, all the BS, all the drama started because of a fucking beauty contest. I'm not being facetious. There was a wedding between Peleus, a mortal king, and Thetis, an actual sea goddess, and there was a person in Greek mythology named Eris. Eris is the embodiment of chaos, right? You would not want chaos at your wedding, would you? No. So obviously everyone in Olympus was invited to this wedding but her, and she felt very, very jilted by that. So what did she do? She took an apple and just threw it, right? And when she threw it, she said, this apple belongs to the fairest of them all. And when she threw it onto Earth, and who picked it up? Paris! Paris picked it up. And so when Paris picked it up, he was unwillingly invoked into this beauty contest. And so then appeared before him was Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena, and they all promised him different things if he said they were the most beautiful. But obviously he's a young man, so with Aphrodite there, she's like, I'll give you the most beautiful woman in the world if you say that I'm the most fair. And so what did he do? Say she was the most fair. And what did she do? Gave him Helen of Troy. Mind you, Helen of Troy's already married to that bitch nigga Menelaus, I can't speak. And as this all was happening, he was just told that he was going to receive the most beautiful woman in the world. Didn't know what her name was, didn't know what she looked like, because beauty is subjective. He just said, okay, I'll sit here and wait. And then he came across Helen, and he picked up Helen, took her back to Troy. Everyone in Greece was like, what are you doing? Menelaus, the bitch nigga, mind you, very funny, he had to win her hand to marry her. That was the whole point of her getting married. Her hand had to be won. Menelaus didn't even win her hand. Agamemnon won it for him. Girl. So now, all the kings in Greece, Menelaus has to defend his honor. Agamemnon, being a good brother, has to protect his investment in Helen. So now we got all this stuff, and Achilles and Odysseus and Epic the Musical, and it's just, too much. Just because Miss Girl threw an apple onto Earth, and Paris said, Aphrodite, you're the most beautiful. And honestly, I get it. Next we have the War of Jenkins' Ear. What the fuck? So now we're actually IRL. We're actually in the 1700s, right? And obviously, in the 1700s, England is obviously mad at somebody, and that person is obviously Spain. So Britain was out here in this time period smuggling. I'm talking smuggling. I'm talking Onion Knight from Game of Thrones type smuggling, like properly doing the shit. And Spain was like, you know, can y'all stop? So Spain began stopping these ships in the middle of the waters, being like, stop it. Pop at him in the mouth. Stop it. So while Jenkins was sat here being like, I'm not smuggling nothing, Spain's like, yes the fuck you are, we can all see that, plus you're British, so you're lying to me. Tensions rise, things escalate, somebody probably got called a pussy. The Spanish dude cut off Jenkins' ear. Cut it off with a knife. Gave it back to him and said, go tell your king this is what happened, and tell him why this happened. Now really, the fuck? No, but this is what makes it so fucking petty, because he held on to the ear, Jenkins, he held on to the ear for years, didn't say anything, right? Until about 7 years later, after this has happened, so he came back, no fucking ear, right? Didn't say anything. So 7 years later, tensions between Britain and Spain are rising. So Jenkins wakes up and is like, you know,
I know that we don't really like Spain. We're teetering on the edge of, like, you know, war, and we're kind of decisive about it. But, like, you know, 7 years ago, I was chilling. And you wanna know why I have no ear? Cause it's right here. And the Spanish people, Spain, cut this shit off.
I'm sorry. And at this point, it was honestly really perfect because they already didn't fuck with Spain because Spain was fucking up their trade routes with all this search and smuggle, you know, stop and frisk type shit. He brings out this ear, and now it's just like, oh, so now you fully disrespect, desecrated, defiled English citizens. Play the map. And it makes sense because you are already teetering on the edge of war with this country, and you're just like, bro, if one more thing happens, I swear to God, I'm airing the whole bitch out. And here comes this old ass man with his fucking ear in his hand. Talk about some, yeah, Spain did this. Girl. Do you know what defenestration is? Defenestration literally means to be thrown out a window. So if you were thrown out a window, you were defenestrated. But now we're going to Prague. We're going back 100 years to 1600s, okay? And the biggest issue right now is religion. We're in the midst of the Holy Roman Emperor. The Catholics hate the Protestants hate the Catholics. Everybody does not like the folks out east who are doing Islam. And it's just like, bro, can we all just mind our business? They're not bothering you. They're not bothering you. Calm down. And in this area where this takes place is in the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is modern day Czech Republic. Mostly Protestant and ruled by who?
Oh my God!
In 1609, the Emperor gives the Kingdom of Bohemia this letter basically saying the Protestants can practice whatever they want to practice freely and it's not hurting everyone. Duh. It was never hurting anyone. But when Ferdinand II became King of Bohemia in 1617, he was very, very Catholic. So he was like, Protestants practicing freely, that really makes my bowels itch, so no. And essentially ripped up the thing. And everybody else in the kingdom that was Protestant was like, oh, so you're a liar. So on May 23rd, 1618, a bunch of Protestant people who were very, very upset about the rights being infringed upon stormed the castle of Prague. I'm reading these names because I don't want to say it wrong. Yaroslav Berida and Willem Slavata all got caught in the crossfire. They didn't even have anything to do with it. They were accused of violating religious rights and freedoms of the Protestants. Now, were they probably doing that? I'm not gonna sit here and say they were. I'm not gonna sit there and say that they weren't. All I know is Ferdinand didn't like that shit. So instead of negotiating and being like, why don't we just roll back on the bullshit y'all are doing to us so we can all have a good old time, they took these two niggas and just threw them out a fucking window. Just threw them out a window. And on top of that, the poor secretary, who probably is just trying to be able to feed his wife and 18 kids, he got thrown out the window too. Just, like, bro.
Why am I airborne?
There is a lesser of two evils here, alright? They didn't die. That's great. But Catholics said the angels saved them. Protestants said they only survived because they landed in a pile of shit. Either way, they lived. So now, Bohemia is rebelling against Ferdinand II. Ferdinand II is saying, I'm having an uprising, I need all my allies, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No negotiations are happening, everyone is fighting each other, everyone is saying they should practice freely, what is the issue? Catholics are saying, bitch, fuck nah, you stink, get out of my face, and then what happens? 30 years war. The 30 years war happens because these guys got thrown out fucking windows. 30 years. They fought for 30 years.
You could back up a little bit.
30 years because they got thrown out a window. Can you imagine if they didn't survive, if they died? Girl. Let's close this out by coming home. It's the mid-1800s in the United States, right? And at this time, the US and England are arguing over the border between the United States and Canada. But to pinpoint exactly where we are actually in the West, talking about Washington State, right? To be specific, the San Juan Islands, right? Okay. Both sides were saying, you know, this is our land, so back the fuck up. And neither side was backing the fuck up. So now you had British settlers and American settlers going toe-to-toe. Girl. So in 1859, we have this farmer, Mr. Cutler. He's just out here doing his thing, you know, making sure everything is alright, make sure the cows are alright, the horses are alright, grass is wet, chicken's pocket, everything is good. But he keeps finding this miscellaneous ass fucking pig going through his shit, eating up everything that shouldn't be eaten up. And he's gotta make a living. He's gotta make a profit. So, since the pig keeps coming and there's no one here claiming the pig, he shoots the pig and has him a little hot roast of ham. But, this is the issue. The pig belonged to a British employee from the Hudson's Bay Company, right? So he sat here like, oh my fucking god, my pig. But it's like, bro, you could have been gotten your pig before he got onto my table. And yet, you didn't. So now, he's on my table. British Jew pulls up and it's like, you shot my pig, so you have to give me money for the pig as if you bought the pig. And he's just like, no, your pig was in my crib, he was trespassing, and no, I'm not paying you for it. Instead of resolving this and compromising, being like, okay, maybe I'll just give you something, or shit, you want a thigh? They just start fighting, and tensions escalate way too fucking quickly. Every American that can hear and see and walk and breathe and most likely has a gun, they pull up to the farm to fight these British people. But then you have the Brits out there being like, oh, we want to rally behind our friend too. So now you got all these people neck and neck, and who comes last? Because America is just, why is the US military here in Washington State over a fucking pig? The US military pulled up over a pig. And then to make matters worse, the British Navy is here. England is my city. The US military and the British Navy are now here about to fight each other over a pig.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
I feel like we have bigger things to worry about, like maybe eradicating slavery. Like, I don't even, this is the thing, no one ever shoots. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 paces fire, shoot. No, we're not in Hamilton. No one is ever shooting. It is a strictly standoff. The US military is here. The British Navy is here. No one is shooting anybody. Probably because they realize they're here over a fucking pig, and it's like,
why are we wasting our resources over a pig that has already been digested, already been shit out?
And with all this going on, they finally agreed to just have joint custody and co-parent the fucking islands, which is so, like, the British Navy showed up. Oh my god. So yeah, take this video as a very good reminder that every decision you make really does fucking matter. They threw 2 people out a window, or 3 people out a window, and they fought for 30 years. Somebody shot a pig, the US military and the British Navy pulled up. Do you know how far the British Navy, not even British Navy, do you know how far England is from Washington State? Like, I don't know if they just had like a clutch of men out there and they just were able to be there closer, but if they didn't, do you know how long it would take for the British Navy to pull up to fucking Washington? Are you serious? Like, over a pit? Over a pig. And honestly, this just proves history and battles and wars, it's not all, oh, we're all gonna sit down and converse and reconvene for 6 to 10 months and make sure we have everything together. Shoot, the last month in America proved that. Let me stop before I get got. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and a thug is back. I will see you in the next one. Bye!